your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace, always serving as your consumer advocate. And we do that by bringing on all these great business owners, expert contributors, and on the program and serving as a consumer advocate for you. Mark Hay, 21st Century Financial Group. He's our financial expert, financial advising expert on the Consumer Quarterback Show, coming up in just a moment. We got Jason Avery as well, our friend Jason, back in studio, Avery Construction, also author of Constructing Success in studio, as well as a special guest, Aaron, with Blue Ox Tree Service, where he's a certified arborist here in Tampa Bay. So we're going to talk with him about that. And we always like to feature our real estate properties live on air. It's part of our strategy to help our sellers sell faster for more money by featuring our real estate properties on the program. And we got a brand new listing that just hit the market on Bardmore Place in Carrollwood. This is a beautiful property, 13906 Bardmore Place, unit number B. And this one's in Tampa. It's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 1-car garage, almost 2,100 square feet, hurricane impact windows throughout. Basically updated throughout the entire home. Stainless steel appliances, beautiful property. You got a jacuzzi there as well on site. Fruit trees, banana, avocado trees as well. 13906 Bardmore Place, Unit B. And they did some really creative backsplash there. It's got tile flooring. Just a great opportunity to own a beautiful property right here in Tampa Bay. Bardmore Place in Tampa. We got a $1 million listing, multi-million-dollar listing here at 3704 Burger Road in Lutz. This is a mansion for sale, 10,000 square feet, over an acre of land, 10 bedrooms, 12 bath, no HOA fees, indoor pool with a full bar and an oversized deck, full tennis court, library, movie theater, sauna, two master suites, and also a grand balcony. And check out that pool. That's a beautiful pool there. Great opportunity to maybe host some parties or networking events there at your home. Burger Road, Lutz, Florida. That's in Hillsborough County. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
And yeah, I'm raising my glass to those saving our ass overseas.
I'm going to touch on a story, too. FTC sues Amazon over Prime. I'm going to touch on that story later on as well. And a quick shout-out to our official hotel partner. That's the Bilmar Beach Resort right here in Tampa Bay. Treasure Island, longtime friend of the program. Say hello to Clyde Smith. He's the general manager over there. Give him a call and book directly with him. Let him know you heard about him here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. BilmarBeachResort.com. You can certainly book online as well, BilmarBeachResort.com. All right, Jason Avery, welcome back. Good to have you.
Hey, Brandon, how you doing today?
Blessed and highly favored, my friend.
I'm feeling the same way, man.
Yeah.
It's been a run of a few weeks. We've been in the running by the Tampa Bay Times to be honored as the best of the best in 2 categories, both bathroom remodel and kitchen remodel. And you know what? Hey, regardless of whether we win the title or not, it's been humbling, the outpouring of support that we've had from referral partners. You know, of course, all our family and friends vote for us, but, you know, people through the chambers of commerce that I'm affiliated with and other networking organizations, it just really stepped up to the plate for us. And they're, you know, as I've been posting and sort of, in my mind, being a little annoying, you know, trying to wrap, I feel like a politician, you know, I'm
exactly
having to hawk up some votes out there.
There you go.
But I've worked it, and, you know, the people who have chimed in and showing me that, you know, they said, let's send me the screenshots after they submit their ballots. You're allowed to vote every day for like 21 days. So it was quite the hustle, but we're at the end. Yesterday was the last day of voting, and now we all have to sit patiently and wait until the publishing comes out. And but yeah, again, just to even be considered as one of the best in Tampa Bay for kitchens or baths, that's super humbling, and, you know, we're very honored to receive that.
Yeah, it's a big deal, and the, you know, the way that you run your business, you know, it shows. You've done some interviews over the years with us, and I've learned a lot about, you know, the way that you do things differently. Can you talk about that? Because a lot of other, you know, you got to be careful with home renovations, right?
I got into this industry working under a guy who tried to teach me the philosophy of write a really vague description with a total price behind it, and then they never really know exactly what is or what isn't included, and then you can wiggle your way through it and make it successful no matter what. Well, yeah, I suppose you can, but he was the guy that would write those sloppy deals, and I was the manager that had to clean them up in the field, and I had to literally argue my way through every situation, trying to cover our butts, you know, and it was not a comfortable way for people to do business. I didn't like getting yelled at by people or having people not like me or have a distaste for me because I'm trying to represent my job. And
Yep.
and so I learned over the years as I got out on my own that more information's better, man.
Yeah.
There's nothing to hide behind. The costs are what the costs are. I don't need to argue with anybody about the price. I know what I'm willing to do it for. You either like the price or you don't.
Yep.
But let's go full disclosure and let's get good at this prediction process. So I created this spreadsheet years ago that would just start to list, if the electrician charged me $5 per unit this time, he should charge me $5 per unit next time.
Right.
If he handed me a bill for $6 per unit, well, what changed?
Right.
He says you turned it sideways. So I'd add another line into my spreadsheet and say, when you turn it sideways, add another $1.
Got it.
And in just 12 years of building on this concept, I've developed a tracking method that helps me control subcontractor expenses, helps the more green designer in the field, the younger designer, doesn't have as much experience as I have.
Yep.
How can they duplicate it the way I've been doing it for years? How can they not duplicate my mistakes from the years that made me good at this industry?
Right.
So I'm trying to structure it in such a way it's just simple, stupid, easy, user-friendly, and now it's so user-friendly that I've actually developed a consulting company about based on my book, Constructing Success, and I've coached 34, actually yesterday was number 35 general contractors on using my pricing model so they can keep their own estimating method accurate, predictable. You don't have to wait weeks of rounding up some contractor bids to get a customer a price so they can say yes or no, whether they even want to talk to you anymore or not.
Right.
And how do we get to the point quickly, make people feel comfortable in the process? And even if they think your price sounds high up front, if your price is accurate, they're going to have a great experience.
Yeah.
It's those guys that come in and tell you part of the story, maybe on purpose or maybe just because they haven't experienced it enough to know some of the things they're going to run into.
Right.
And then they're not going to go without profit and take a loss. They're going to beat you up with change orders as you go.
Exactly.
You're going to get to the same finish line that I'm going to take you to, but I'm going to do it in a comfortable way, and they're going to do it in a way where you're going to despise contractors when you're done.
Yeah.
Hence the horror stories everybody in this state has heard about contractors before.
Contractors. I had a bad realtor. I mean, you hear these stories over and over, and you're like,
Bad
man, it doesn't have to
Brandon.
be that way.
Just bad communication.
Right.
Document it clearly. What is included, what's not included, and then there's no room for an uncomfortable conversation later.
Yep.
Break it down into the bite-sized pieces, and then there's nothing left to argue about. When you give a
Exactly.
total price and it sounds big, you think, gosh, that sounds big. Mm-hmm. Break it down to the bite-sized pieces. I'm going to put a couple $100s in paper and plastic in there first before I start your demolition.
Yep.
You would like me to do that, right? And not spread the dust around the entire house?
Exactly.
I could save you a couple $100 and you can clean up later, but most people prefer to keep that in the budget when you show it to them.
Exactly.
As a bite-sized piece,
Yep.
So that's been the goal and the focus.
That's awesome.
So I brought you a visitor today,
Awesome.
and my buddy Aaron
Cool.
Kessler here in the house. So when I build room additions, big part of my business, and as housing shortages are out there, you see how thin the real estate market is, for inventory and opportunity.
Yep.
Well, there's a lot of people want to add on to homes, so
Yeah.
we get tons and tons of these calls. Not everybody has a realistic expectation of costs, but that's what I spell out for them real quick in my spreadsheet, help them determine what it really costs. And but when we do these additions, obviously we encounter a lot of trees. Trees are affected, whether we have to protect them in the process of building this addition and running our footing, or whether we have to remove them completely. And then what do you got to do after that? So
Yep.
my buddy here, Aaron's a licensed arborist, and he's definitely coached me through some difficult, situations at times, Safety Harbor and their grand oaks and
Yeah.
things like that. And so, anyways, I wanted to bring him in and introduce him to you today and
Yeah.
show you what he's all about.
Definitely, especially hurricane season right here now upon us, Aaron.
Yeah, coming around the corner. There's some fronts moving through the Atlantic right now. They say this would be a really bad year, possibly.
Slide up a little bit. Yep.
The temperature of the Atlantic is way above normal, and the monsoon season in Africa is above normal.
Wow.
So between those two things, we might be having a whopper of a season this year is what they're talking about.
Yeah. We sure don't need that.
No.
So my buddy Aaron here, his nickname to me is Groot because he's as tall as a tree. He doesn't need a ladder to get up there. He just cuts them from the ground. But actually, this guy's impressive. He went out to California. He was the guy that was doing precision drops for the power line companies with like these massive red oaks and pines, whatever the heck they are. He can tell
Yeah.
you more. But I'm just trees that are bigger around than you and I are tall, and,
Yeah.
and you got to drop them precision so you don't hit the power line.
Yeah.
And what brought him back was the storm Irma. And I have 5 acres in Brooksville, and we had a dozen trees down on the property.
Oh, man.
And in weird, twisted ways, tree laying on top of tree like dominoes, and I mean, just extremely dangerous stuff for the average redneck like me with a chainsaw. And I mean, I'd had my neighbor over there help me, and one of us likely kill ourselves. So Aaron spent a couple weeks cleaning up my property. That's where he and I really bonded, and off to the races since then. I've helped work with him as a coach and a consultant in building Blue Ox. And I'll tell you what, as tree guys go, this is one of the reputablest companies you'll meet, one of the most safety conscious companies that you'll meet. And he actually overwhelms me with his safety sometimes. I'm like, Aaron, that's good enough. Let's just do it. Yeah. And he's like, no, put on the hat, put on the glasses, strap in with the extra rope, get the heck out of the way, So, anyways, love this guy. And I thought I'd like to share him and his story with you today.
Yeah. What are some of the key takeaways that Jason's taught you, or that you've been able to apply to your business?
Oh, he's been so influential in my business. When I started, I started pretty much by myself with a truck and trailer, and had no idea how to run a business. I had been a carpenter, so I knew how to work hard. That was about it. But as far as managing and owning a business, I had no idea. And he has really been transformative. All the things he's taught me. I really work on the business now instead of in it. You know, the guys are on the job right now, and there's salesmen out doing sales right now.
Nice. I'm
sitting here with you. He's absolutely been transformative in that. There's so much stuff to learn from him. One of the biggest ones, it always takes, he has to tell me things 3-4 times still. He always he enjoys that. But for the longest time, him telling me you need somebody to answer the phones for you. That was the first big one. And for the longest time, I said, there's no money for that. What do you mean I need somebody to answer the phones? I'm not even paying myself right now. How can I take on somebody else to do this? Mm-hmm. And a lot of years, a lot of training, but that person pays for itself. And that was the first real big step into owning a business instead of just being a tree guy.
Leverage. That message carries over to so many business owners out there, and is what is the value of your time?
Right.
As a business owner, I'm thinking you're valuing your time over $100 an hour, right?
Yep.
I mean, most attorneys are at $250, $350, $500 an hour for their time, and with a solid education behind it. But what is the value of your time? Now, if it's worth $100 an hour, and you're sitting at a fax machine and you're faxing things, and you could have paid somebody $15 an hour to do that.
Yep.
You're costing yourself $85 an hour while you stand there.
That's right.
I mean, that's just absurd, So definitely people need to learn how to let go, delegate, follow up, but you can definitely compartmentalize your time into spending all your time doing the things that make you the most amount of money. Things that are the most impactful on the business.
The one thing. Gary Keller wrote a book called The One Thing. What is your one thing, right? And it's changing during the day or the weeks. But it's all about the models, right? Systems and models, right? Systems and models. So let's, Jason, I know you got to take off here. I want to get final thoughts from you, and then we'll spend some more time.
I'll just talk about the next thing coming up. So plan ahead for July 21st. Between here and now, I need to help raise some money for the wheelchairs for kids. I'm going to be part of a jailbreak. And so I have a $3,000 bail that's being posted, and I need to raise that $3,000. There's links available through my social media, and Avery Construction social media, my designer cabinets factory. I'll put it out as many ways as I can. So when you see my wanted poster with my face and my mug on the front, know that there'll be a thermometer ticking, and I need to raise $3,000, and it's going to a really good cause. The Wheelchairs for Kids is an organization we support all year by widening ramps and by building ramps or widening doorways. Just most recently, we pulled out a tub and renovated it to a wheel-in shower. But I really love these guys. Their cause is phenomenal. It's great, and I really want to support them. It'll be hosted by Charlie Belcher. He's the judge.
Okay.
And I look for AKA the Hammer. That's my my alias.
Okay.
And I'm accused of conspiracy to vandalize, as I've led a team of 45 tradesmen to destroy kitchens and bathrooms all over this town.
Okay.
And to the tune of 100 projects a year.
I love it.
So.
That's awesome, man. Good cause. Sounds like a great cause. Wheelchair for Kids. Wheelchairs for Kids.
Yep.
And then how do people support you or get to your website?
Easy to find me. Just go to averyconstruction.com. Anything in the world of remodeling. designercabinetsllc.com. Anything in the world of cabinetry that I wholesale to contractors like myself or designers. And then, of course, if you need help in your business, I like helping anybody I can. Construct-success.com. And you can also pick up my book, Amazon or Kindle.
Nice. Good stuff, man. Busy guy.
Hey, Brandon, man, it's great to be here as always. Taking care of my friend Aaron. I'm going to talk to a man who needs to rip the roof off the house and build up 2 stories. It's $1.2 to $1.8 million deal. So
That's
I'm going to go
awesome.
show up and show my face and help that architect along with his design.
That's awesome, man. Good stuff. All right, Jason Avery, Avery Construction. Always a pleasure having him. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk more with Aaron Kessler, Blue Ox Tree Service, and he is a certified arborist right here in Tampa Bay. Also, I want to touch on this story as well. It's FTC sues Amazon Prime, or Amazon over Prime. They're alleging that the retailer tricked millions of customers. We're going to talk about that story and more here coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey everybody, it's Captain Matt Bruce, and you're listening to my buddy Brandon Rhymes, a consumer quarterback. Sell, Brandon, sell.
All right, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. My wife Lindsay and I own a top 100 ranked real estate team at Keller Williams Realty. We like to feature our real estate properties live on air. Strategy works. It helps sellers sell faster for more money. 2817 Gulf City Road in Ruskin. We've got 23 acres of land available for sale on the Little Manatee River, access to the Gulf of Mexico. Great opportunity for a return on investment here. Build some townhomes, condos, maybe single-family homes. 2817 Gulf City Road in Ruskin, Florida. That's Hillsborough County. That one's listed right around $1.6 million. Great opportunity right here in Tampa Bay. We do sell vacant land, commercial properties, as well as residential. 8328 Red Spruce Avenue in Riverview. This is another single-family home, beautiful property here in a gated community. 3 community pools. You got a splash park pad, multiple playgrounds, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath. 8328 Red Spruce Avenue in Riverview. And you can see all of our listings online at PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
This is God's country.
All right, I want to talk to Aaron in studio, Aaron Kessler, Blue Ox Tree Service. And when people think about this, your line of work, you've been doing it quite a while, as we established. What are some of the common mistakes or missteps that people make, or kind of misnomers in your industry?
Yeah, we spend so much time educating our clients. There's so many times I go to folks' house and talk them out of doing what they're asking for. Some of the most common mistakes you see are people wanting to over prune the tree. Or they think that getting ready for hurricane season, these branches over the house, I'm going to prune them back and get them away from the house. And it's that's the worst thing that you could do. And we're constantly telling people not to prune stuff a long ways away from the house. You want the tree, if it can hit the house, you want it to be close to the house. Okay. About 6 to 8 feet away from the roof. You don't want it touching the roof, but about 6 to 8 feet away. And then if something does break, these things don't just instantly hit hard. They take a minute to pick up speed and get going. So if it's really close to the house, even if the whole tree falls over, it will just kind of tip over and brace against the house.
Got it.
When we go to the hurricanes and we see the damage, the worst trees are the pine trees, because they're vertical poles, and so when they fall, they go from completely vertical to horizontal. They have all the weight, and they hit with a big log crashing into the house.
Right.
If you have an oak tree that you can maintain the foliage near the roof, then when that piece falls, or if the whole thing falls, it will disperse the weight into the small branches and the foliage, and also it won't have very far to move. So maintaining that close to the house is the best. Any structure that it could possibly hit.
And I imagine also, Aaron, too, if you're trimming back a certain way, you're weakening the tree itself, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of other common mistakes where folks that don't take the time to get educated, they'll go through and center prune the tree and take out all of the interior growth and interior branches. And people think that helps with the wind, but it actually has the opposite effect. It makes it much weaker in the wind. And it's also easy work for these guys to do, because that's the easy part of the tree to access.
Got it.
So they can come in, charge money, make it look like they did something. The tree looks different.
Right.
And then, get out of there real quick. But actually, when we get done pruning a tree, it shouldn't look like we pruned it. It should just look like it's a tree. You really shouldn't be able to tell that we came in there and cut a bunch of stuff away. Less is more with these things. And
That makes sense. We're talking with Aaron Kessler here, Blue Ox Tree Service. He's a certified arborist right here in Tampa Bay. I want to come back to you in just a moment. I want to get into this story here. The Federal Trade Commission has sued Amazon, alleging that the retailer tricked millions of customers into signing up for its Prime program and then frustrated their attempts to cancel those automatically renewing subscriptions. In a complaint filed in federal court on Wednesday, the regulatory agency said Amazon designed its checkout process to make it harder to purchase items without first subscribing. So it costs about $139 a year. They said that Amazon presented customers with a purchase button that automatically triggered a Prime subscription. So again, it's just, here we go, another example of large corporations, corporate skimming, corporate greed. Another great example of that. And you see it over the years too. Your bag of potato chips ain't what it used to be. You used to buy a bag of potato chips and it's pretty full with chips, and now you get it, it's like all bag and then like maybe 40%. Yeah, a lot of air in there, exactly. So I wanted to get to that story, but so Aaron, give us more tips or other ideas you have around your industry, what you're seeing.
So one of the other big changes recently here in Florida is they changed the laws on how to get a tree removal permit. And that's been a big conversation back and forth with a lot of clients. The state changed it to where, as part of the Homeowner Rights Act, that if you have a certified arborist write you a report stating that the tree is dangerous, then the municipality cannot require a permit, replacement, mitigation fees, or any of that. And the municipalities really didn't like that. They get a significant source of income, but it's also these the folks that work in that department, that was pretty much their whole job. It really nixed a lot of the work that they did. But what's happened, they changed it again a couple of years ago to require it to be put in a certain format.
Okay.
And what's happening now is folks are getting these arborist reports, but they're not putting it down correctly. And the way the cities are getting back at this is saying that those reports are not valid, so then you remove the tree without a permit or a valid arborist report, so now we're going to fine you.
Oh, boy.
And so people watching out for that. It's one of the biggest things that we see. And the tree services will tell the client, here, this is good, that's all you need, and then they're gone. Well, we're
almost out of time, buddy. Sorry about that.
No worries.
What's the best website? How do you want people to connect with you?
blueox-treeservice.com.
blueox-treeservice.com.
That's it. Thanks for having me.
Aaron Kessler. Hey, my pleasure. Good stuff. Great tips. And check them out online. Also, thanks to Jason Avery as well. Coming up, Mark Hay, financial advising expert contributor, 21st Century Financial Group, coming up here on the flip side of that break. Follow us online. We'd love to connect with you. Consumer QB Show, at CQB Show, at Brandon Rhymes 1. And we'll be right back here. More with the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.